Well, folks, I have to say, one of the most disheartening parts about this new Trump 2.0 regime is not only the way that he has cozied up to dictators, but also the way he just came in and had no regard whatsoever for our allies and was willing to just throw away relationships and friendships and partnerships that we had had for years. People who we've never had a problem with before. He just came in and made it a point to have a problem with them. And I get messages from people every day from all over the country saying, Brando, we're sitting back watching in horror as we see what's happening in your country. And I say back to them, trust me, we're watching with the same amount of concern right now. And we don't want to see our leadership picking fights with our friends. We don't want to see our leadership wrecking the global economy. We don't want to see us get ending up in a recession or a depression. We don't want any of those things. We would like to see this country flourish, but right now we have a president who seems hell bent on destroying all of our partnerships and just running completely amok. But I'm really glad to see people not backing down, and I'm actually pulling for people like Charlie Angus, who's just not backing down from Trump. He says that Canada will not back down from Donald Trump, and I'm going to play a couple of his clips here. And again, shout out to my Canadian listeners. I can't blame this guy one bit for what he has to say right here. Take a look.
I think what's really concerning is that an idiot like Trump has been allowed to monkey wrench the global economy without anybody stepping in and saying, whoa, Donald, what the heck are you doing? When we see him tariffing poor Madagascar because Madagascar doesn't buy enough product from the United States. Madagascar is too poor to buy product from the United States, but they offer Americans cheap chocolates. Donald Trump picks a fight with them. The on again, off again tariffs in terms of auto, nobody even knows where that stands. Right now, South Dakota is freaking out, North Dakota, the farmers in Montana, because you have an integrated border in terms of ag trade, $70 billion. All that's in chaos right now. I think he's pushing us towards a major, definitely an American recession, probably a global recession, and maybe a depression if he doesn't step back. But it's up and down. And the thing that really strikes me about Trump and his crew is they're really, really tough until you stand up to them, and then they blink. And that's certainly what's happened with Canada, and Canada's been very strong. And then they come back at it a second and a third time. The feeling I'm getting from Canadians is they don't care what Trump does next. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're looking to rebuild our economy, and we're going to do it without our former ally, our former friend, our former partner. We're going to have to take steps that we're going to take because we simply cannot trust the American regime anymore.
You know, I got to be honest, it's really sad to hear him say that. When I watched that, it wasn't something that was easy to watch. But I cannot blame him one bit for saying that, and I can't blame Canadians for feeling the way that they feel. I mean, you have every right to feel the way that you do. The way that Donald Trump has came in and done this whole tariff scheme that he's done, and on again, off again, hot and cold, and yeah, he stands up and screams and gets in people's face till they stand up for themselves, and then he backs down. And then the most frustrating part about all of it is the people here in the States who are still pulling for this type of thing and cheering for it like it's this WWE rhetoric, and they're over here going, yeah, man, they're playing chess, they're playing checkers, and Trump's playing chess. I'm like, no, he's not. He's absolutely ruining so many relationships that we had, and it's just truly disheartening to sit back and watch all this. But I want to play you one more clip from Charlie Angus, and I'm not a Canadian, but he almost makes me proud to be one in this next clip. Take a look.
I'm going to say this once, and I might never say it again. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for bringing Canada together. It took such a malignant, narcissistic slug like you to make us put aside all of our differences, all our regional fights, all of our concerns with each other, and realize that we actually had to stand up for something better, which is standing up for the rule of law, standing up for democracy, standing up for decency. And we know that we're on your border, and it freaks you out because you and your incel gang are so freaked out about diversity, equity, inclusion, your DEI nightmare. Well, we are your DEI nightmare, Donald, because Canada is always going to be a country of diversity. We will always be a country of equity. We will always be a country of inclusion, and we will defend the rule of law. And if you want to continue fighting with us, you are going to lose at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's not going to hurt us, but we are true. We are North. We are strong. We are free, and we are ready for this fight, Donald. So make up your mind. Quit your fighting on social media with us. Tell us what you're going to do, because we're moving on and we're going to stand and hold the line.
I have to say that is the kind of country that we wanted too. We wanted to see America like that, and we did not want to see Donald Trump get in and just completely destroy everything that we had ever tried so hard to build. I think so much progress was made, and I think that Trump's presidency has drove us back more than 100 years, and they're trying to take us back even further. I see people like Charlie Kirk, who was born in 1993, saying, hey, he wants to go back to the 50s. They don't want to go back to it's not about going back to the 50s. It's not about making anything great again. It's about going back to a time when their kind of people ruled and no one else had any say in anything. They want to divide as many people as they can. They don't want diversity. They don't want equity. They don't want inclusion. They don't want progress. Progress scares the ever-living hell out of them. And that's something that I think more and more people needs to understand. They truly are afraid of progress, and they're afraid of change. And they're afraid that, if someone else gets something in this world, that somehow they'll lose theirs. And I've never bought into that. I've never thought that, hey, you know what? If this group of people over here has the same rights as me, I'm somehow going to lose, or I'm going to come out on the losing end of that. I've always wanted to see other people get a fair shake in this world. And I've said this many times on the channel, but I believe this. I'm not saying give people handouts. I'm saying make sure everyone has a hand to play in this world. It's completely crazy to me the way that they want to completely rig the deck against anyone that they disagree with. They want to go back here and they want to cherry pick these ancient books and tell us that we have to live under their interpretation of ancient books. And then they'll take something like the Constitution after they get done just completely bastardizing the Bible all to hell. Then they'll reach over and get the Constitution and they will twist it. And people like Steve Bannon will say out loud, oh, well, we will decide what the Constitution means. We will decide what the term limits are. We'll decide what the Constitution means and what the wording means. What gave them the authority to be that person? Where was the meeting? I missed it. That someone said, oh yeah, the Steve Bannons of the world and the Charlie Kirks of the world and the Donald Trumps, they get to be the ones that call the shots, and everybody else has to bow to their will. I completely missed that meeting, and I call bullshit, and I don't intend on attending that meeting anytime soon. I sit there and I'm listening to a Canadian and speak, and I'm saying, yeah, that's the kind of America we wanted. That's why we voted against Donald Trump. There's a whole lot of good people down here who did not fall for his bullshit and have not fell for his bullshit. There's also good people who's woke up along the way and realized they were being duped. And the saddest part is there was a whole lot of people that stayed home on election day because they couldn't tell the difference, and they completely lost faith in the system. And now they're sitting back, they're losing their jobs, and they're going, how did these things happen? Well, it happened because you wasn't paying attention. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not trying to be rude or condescending or anything like that. It's just the truth. If you suddenly lost your job and the program that was holding your job up got slashed, and now you're fixing to be out of work, if you'd have been paying attention, we were warning of these things the entire time. We were sitting here the entire time. So many people that I know, so many networks, so many content creators, so many, people on social media was constantly, we made it our daily mission to get up and make videos and say, hey, this is what's happening. This is what Project 2025 is all about. This is what they're intending to do. And we tried so hard to warn people, and people just, they didn't have any faith in the system. They lost so much faith in the system that they lost faith in their fellow Americans too, and they wouldn't take our word for nothing. And now we have to sit back and just watch Trump be a bully on the world stage and humiliate us on the world stage. And I just want to say that I don't think Donald Trump knows what being an American is. I think that in Donald Trump's mind, it's all about being wealthy and all about who can get rich the quickest. The guy has no understanding of the true American life because he's never lived it. Donald Trump has never lived the true American life. He's lived a life of privilege. He's lived a life of everything being handed to him on a silver platter. He's lived a life of his daddy giving him a small loan and him going out and just conning people and scamming people, and that's all it's about. And he measures success by how rich a person gets. So he doesn't know the American way. and he's absolutely humiliating us on the world stage. And the only thing that we could do is continue to stand up to the tyranny and let people know that we don't buy into this. So to all my Canadian listeners, when I hear Charlie Angus speak, I'm right there in agreement with him. I agree wholeheartedly. I agree with everything he said, and I think more Americans need to say it louder. And I want my Canadian listeners to know that, yeah, we've got some crazy people in charge right now. But hopefully we will get more people inspired and ready to vote, people ready to get out and protest and speak up louder and get louder, because we're going to have to. We're going to have to get as loud as Charlie Angus was in those clips and never back down. But folks, I truly do appreciate all of your support here on the channel. We've crossed over 700,000. And we just continue to grow, so I appreciate all of you. It doesn't cost anything to hit that subscribe button, so if you want to, go ahead and hit it. You'll just be notified when I put out videos. If you ever do want to contribute a few bucks, we have members only here on YouTube. We also have a Patreon that's in the description. The link is in the description of this video. And I've been doing some more non-political content over there. One video that I'm going to make when I get done with this one for Patreon, I'm going to do my Mount Rushmore of 1950s solo artists. There's only 4 in my mind that can make it, so you could join me over there and see who they are. But I truly appreciate all of you, and I really feel like that we're all in this together, and we have to continue to stand and fight together and stand up for our allies, because Donald Trump sure as hell ain't going to.